Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here and it's time for another ColourPop palette review. Today we're talking about the You Had Me at Hello palette. If you haven't already seen my other ColourPop palette reviews, I'll link them in the description box. I've loved most of them. The last one I tried was the My Little Pony palette. I did not love that one, but it's a new day, it's a new palette. I'm gonna give you all the product info, we'll do swatches, and I'll also do a tutorial on the eye look I'm wearing right now. I created it with this palette, so stick around to the end of the video to see how I got this eye look. At this time, this palette is only available on the ColourPop website. The palette is packaged in a heavy-duty cardboard. It does have a magnetic closure, and like all the other palettes, the shade names are pictured on the back. However, unlike their other palettes, this one retails for $18 instead of the usual $16, and that's because this palette has a mirror, yeah! I love this feature. I'm definitely willing to pay an extra $2 to get a mirror inside my palette. This palette contains 12 eyeshadow shades, 6 are matte and 6 are shimmers. We're gonna get to the swatches now. I'm gonna swatch all 12 shades on the back of my hand with absolutely no primer. I'll do finger swatches on top and the brush swatches will be below. As always, for my brush swatches, I'll be using my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush and I'll clean off in between each swatch using my Vera Mona color switch. Here's the first row of swatches. Again, finger swatches are on top and brush swatches are below. This first gorgeous icy white shade is called The Knot. Next we have a pale gold. This one is Moonstruck. Here we have a peachy matte shade. This one's called Two Peas. And lastly, a gorgeous pink to gold shimmer shade. This one's called CANDYGRAM. This is the middle row. Again, these are finger swatches and these are brush swatches. The brush swatches look so gorgeous on this palette. The first shade we have is a beautiful rosy mauve. This is a matte and it's called Winning Ticket. Next is a gorgeous shimmery maroon meets purple shade called FBO. Next, a purple matte called Look See. And lastly, a deeper, more yellowy gold. This one's called Fool's Rush. This is the last row from the palette, and I think these two matte shades in particular are very interesting. First, we have Pulling Strings, which is a mustardy brown. Then this one's called Want You Back. It's a rosy brown. It has like a pinkish tint to it. Very pretty, very flattering on the eyes. This shimmer is called DTR. And it's a shimmery taupe. On camera it looks a lot more taupe, but in person it's almost like a taupe to rose gold. Very, very pretty. And lastly, a matte chocolate brown called Sparks Fly. Now that we've seen the swatches, let's go ahead and go to the tutorial using this palette, and then I'll give you all my thoughts at the end. Some things never change. I'm starting off with my favorite eye base. It's the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And since this palette doesn't have a very light matte shade, I just use some setting powder on top to give a nice smooth surface. Then I use the shade Two Peas to start building up a transition, and I just used a fluffy brush and put that all through my crease and on the outer part of my eye. Then I used a combination of Pulling Strings and Want You Back. I started building that up on the outer part of my eye and into the outer part of my crease as well. When you realize you just started your eye look and it's going to be awesome, you do a happy dance. Then I'm going to take the shade Fool's Rush and I'm going to use my finger to apply that shade all over my lid, but concentrating most of it in the center of the lid. Then I'm going to take a teeny tiny bit of Sparks Fly. This shade is super pigmented and I do not want my eye look to get too dark and smoky. So I just took a little tiny bit of that and built it up on the outer part of my eye. Again, that combo of Pulling Strings and Want You Back just to blend into the crease. Now I'm going to work on my lower lash line. I'm starting with the shade Want You Back on a flat brush, and I'm just putting that on the outer 2/3 of my lower lash line. Then I'm going to go back and blend it out with the shade Two Peas on a little pencil brush just to make sure everything looks nice and smooth. Next, for the inner corner highlight, I used the shade The Knot on a little detail brush, and I used this shade Moonstruck to kind of blend that very bright white shade into my lid color, and I ended up just blending it a little bit with my finger as well. Of course, I curled my lashes and added some Lash Paradise mascara, and that's the finished look. It's so warm, it's so shiny, it's so fall-tastic. I really, really love it. I don't have a single bad thing to say about this palette. I love everything about it. I love the addition of the mirror. It's this nice big mirror, definitely usable if you're going to travel. You can take this palette, you can actually use the mirror. Of course, the packaging's super cute. We all love that. The shade selection is perfection. I love that it's very wearable and very neutral, but some of the shades have an interesting twist. These two matte shades, they're browns, but this one has a mustardy, almost golden undertone. This one is very rosy. It's almost a mauve brown. So while they are neutrals, it's just a little bit something different, and I love that. You could easily create an everyday look, but it's something that just has that little bit of uniqueness to it that makes me want to try it, want to wear it, and want to experiment with different color combinations. The quality of these eyeshadows is definitely on point. You Had Me at Hello is right back on top of the quality where the I Think I Love You palette was. If you haven't seen my review on this, I loved this palette. I continue to love this palette, and I do think that the quality performance of these shadows is just as good. All of the shades are very soft, very easy to work with, not so pigmented that they're falling out all over the place. They blend beautifully, they wear all day. The shimmers are super intense. I absolutely love this. I've worn it a few times. I've always liked the way my makeup turned out. So for me, this is a definite yes. Must have, add to cart. Complete order. That's all I have for you today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this palette. Have you ordered it? Is it on your wish list? What palette do you want to see me review next? I always love hearing your suggestions and hearing your thoughts on things. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, mama. Oh, I'm feeling the feelings. So many feelings. I have fall leaves magically on my eyes, and I like it a lot, a lot, a lot. Here, and we're you got this. Okay. 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 Talking about the be good if you knew the name of the palette you were reviewing. Great. Palette is made of a swatch out. Don't make makeup puns. Don't do it.